What's up, YouTube? Welcome to today's video where we are going to discuss why urgency kills your power as a man, literally in every single aspect of the sense of the word. So make sure you stick with me till the end, because by the end of this video, I think you're going to understand when you're urgent, whether it's with career goals or business goals, women, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about, progress in the gym, you will find that it kills your power as a man, that it oftentimes backfires and doesn't even get you what you want. I'm going to teach you a new framework that you can use for that. The real reason that urgency is so problematic for us as men is because when we have urgency, we basically are operating from a scarcity mindset. Think about it. When you are urgent about something, whether it's pursuing a woman or you need money right now, you want gains in the gym right now, whatever it is that you're searching for and you feel a sense of urgency for, you're literally saying, I don't have this thing and I need this thing now, right? That is a scarcity mindset. As men, we need to live with abundance, even when we don't have it. We have to, in a sense, fake it till we make it in that context, meaning we need to walk with an abundance mindset and say, the things that I want in life are going to come to me. And the reason for that is because I'm putting the work in to building myself as a man to attract that into my life, right? That's the entire aspect of what I teach men with the magnetic effect. So when you don't have something, you're signaling urgency. And when we as men try to rush the process, right? Because there's a process to everything, whether you want to build muscle, whether you want to build a business or build your dream career or attract the woman, like court her, date her, marry her, whatever it is that you're looking to do, there's a process that we have to undergo. And when we skip that process, we're trying to shortchange the way that life naturally flows. There is a natural order to things. There's ways that things flow. Like, for example, what you'll find just in course of the gym, right? When you're building muscle, like as me, I'm a bodybuilder, right? When I've tried to put on muscle too quickly or lose body fat too fast, it backfires on you, right? You try to lose body fat too fast, you hit a stress threshold, your body now can't push past this certain threshold, you have to take a break and recover. That's how it works. When you put on muscle too quickly, you end up not being able to retain it when you go into that next cut because you sped run that process and you didn't take the time to let that muscle mature, sit in your body, and gain its ground with you. When you do this, when you try to rush the process with business, building a YouTube channel, with building muscle, with attracting women, you're giving off that need and that neediness. And that's really what this comes back to, is that the world is always going to mirror back to you where you currently are as a man. So when you're not centered and grounded and you're feeling urgent because you feel like you need to get this thing right now, you can't have it in the future, you need it right now, you're signaling to the world, I'm not okay as I am right now, right? Now, how do we manage desire, whether that's with women or business progress or career progress or progress in the gym, with the idea of that, yes, I want these things, but I don't need them right now. I'm willing to invest into the process. Well, it's exactly as I just said. You need to see the process and invest into it. For example, every day of my life, I wake up, I shoot a YouTube video after I go and do fasted cardio and have my first meal, okay? I'm investing in the process of making sure that I check the boxes off every day, whether it's with my business, whether it's with my personal brand, my band, Tethra that I have, bodybuilding, my business, it doesn't matter, right? I'm checking these boxes I have to check every day. I let that consistency compound. That's how I've built a physique that's placed me 2 spots from turning pro in classic physique. That's how I've built 100,000 monthly listeners for my band. That's how I've built a business. That's how I've built a previous YouTube channel, right? That's how I've built followings on Instagram and TikTok and all this different stuff. Because what I've done is I've allowed myself the space to let those wins compound. See, that's the thing. Most people aren't willing to let the workouts that they're doing, the meals they're eating, compound into the muscle tissue. They want to know, what's the quickest way that I can get 20 pounds of muscle on myself? What's steroid cycle that I need to run to do that, right? Sure, performance enhancing drugs are part of bodybuilding. I use them. But at the end of the day, I'm not using aggressive doses like a lot of guys want to get the results that they want, right? When I was younger, I thought like that. I was like, okay, well, how's the quickest way that I can get from point A to point B? And that was the case for business, with women, with muscle, everything. And you know what ended up happening to me? I got nothing I wanted. I got nothing that I wanted. I came off too urgent with women, too needy with women. I came off too urgent with business. People can feel your energy. That's what I want you to take away from this video, mainly, is that your urgency puts your nervous system into this constant neediness, right? And not only this, but you burn yourself out because you're trying to speed run everything. You're trying to speed run the process of putting on muscle. You're trying to speed run the process of business and career progress and money. You're trying to speed run the process of women. You're trying to speed run everything. And what happens when you speed run things is you don't get what you want. And even worse, and I've gone through this, you burn out. You burn out, right? The most unattractive thing to women is your urgent need for them. What a woman wants to feel is this man doesn't need me. I would just be an addition to his life. When you give off this neediness, when you respond to their text immediately, when you are constantly DMing her, liking her stories, Snapchatting her, whatever it is that you're doing, you're giving off this neediness. You're saying, I, as a man, am not okay as I am. I don't live abundantly. Like, she needs to feel like you could take it or leave it, especially in the earlier stages of attraction. She needs to feel like, this man doesn't really need me, right? He's got other options. He's pre-selected. He's other options. He has other women that want him. And when you give off this sense of like, that's not the case, right? When you give off this sense of, I don't know of my own worth. I don't know who I am, right? I don't know what I want. I don't know how to get what I want. Well, you end up signaling that, in a sense, you're not in a position to warrant that attraction from her. Okay. And this works in every single context. If you have a service-based business with clients, whether you're an electrician or a coach like me, or some other kind of service, maybe you're a barber, and you signal to people, I need your business, I need your money, they're going to think, well, why does this guy need my money? If he was so good at doing what he does, wouldn't he already have a lot of clients? Wouldn't he have a lot of people to perform that work for, right? That's the thing. Even if you have a product-based business, right? Why does Apple not have to have desperate marketing on TV? Why does Apple not have to run desperate Facebook ads? Because they know that people are going to buy this thing, right? They don't need to be desperate about it. They have an abundant mindset. If you don't buy it after watching their ad, they don't care because the next person will, right? So your urgency as a man, I'm going to reference my notes here to make sure I'm hitting on all this. Your urgency as a man is killing everything I'm talking about. You're not letting the natural state of existence flow. And there is a natural order to how things work, right? Whether that's your physique, developing your mindset, your life trajectory as a man, your mission, your purpose, attracting women, building a relationship, whatever it is that you want, there's a natural order to that. There's a natural flow to that. And the more you try to rush that process and screw with whether you want to call it divine timing, God's timing, the universe's timing, whatever frame you want to look at life from, you will see that you start screwing with that stuff, it doesn't reward you. It does not reward you. In fact, you get the opposite of what you wanted. People follow men who aren't in a rush. And the reason they do that is because when you think about what stoicism is, it's this calmness under pressure, right? It's this idea that like, I'm not moved off my center no matter what's going on around me. I can't control the outside world, but I can control my response to it. And people follow grounded leadership, right? Women follow men like that. Clients follow men like that. People hire men like that, right? In their jobs. People want to be friends with people like that. People want to look up to people like that because you demonstrate your calmness, your stability in a world that's chaos. And that's really what it is. The world is chaos. And the more you can ground yourself as a man and be stable, and this is why I talk constantly about like nervous system regulation and training yourself with that. It's a whole different video topic that I'll cover here soon. But you have to build resilience as a man, and you build that resilience. You then have a stable nervous system. You're grounded. You're self-led. You don't need anything from the outside world. You generate from in yourself what you want to see in the world. And guess what? When you stop needing things from the world, when you live with that abundant mindset like I was talking about, that's ironically and paradoxically where things start coming to you. That's when you get the women. That's when you get the money. That's when you get the followers. That's when you get the job that you want. When you're not desperate. When you're desperate, you get nothing. That's the unfairness of life, right? I don't make the rules. I'm just here to relay them to you. I've lived all of this stuff. I've made all the mistakes I'm telling you about, right? The man who needs nothing gets everything. The man who needs everything gets nothing. It's the truth of life. I don't make the rules, like I said. That's just the way it is. The more you have, the more you get. The more you can convince yourself you have, the more you get, right? That's why you see guys that do well with women, they get all the women. Like 20% of men get all the women. The other 80% get none. That's just the truth. The other 80% of men are fighting for the bottom 20% of women, right? They're fighting for the scraps. That's humanity. That's us as men. I don't get to, like I said, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you the way it is. I was a part of that 80% of men before. Now I'm part of the 20% of men. And women come to me. Things are easier, right? Life comes to me more because I trust in myself. I trust how I've built myself. And that's what I want to leave you with. You have to understand that in order to feel this grounded nature, in order to feel abundant in your mind, you got to build yourself into the man that feels like he doesn't need anything from the world. Now, how do you do that? That's the real question. And like I said before, earlier in this video, I built you a free training called the Magnetic Effect. You can go take that training and it's going to teach you exactly how to build yourself into the man that doesn't need anything and magnetizes everything to him. He starts to attract the things to him. So go click the link in my bio. So go take that free training at the link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed because I'm putting videos out like this constantly. I will see you in that next video.